So this is interesting. Laura Whitmore has responded back to my interview with Rachel and is basically slamming her and upset with her response. And I just think that this is typical behavior. And we're really going to just read into this very carefully. Hey guys, it's Morali. Hopefully you guys are all doing well today. Back at it again. It is daily and consistent content. Subscribe to the channel, guys, and let's get into this video. Before I do get into this video, please don't go and send any hate to Laura Whitmore. Thank you very much. We're all adults here. We can have conversations without obviously, trying to send hate to anybody. So let's get into this where, Rachel basically spoke out on my channel and said that, she's gutted that Laura Whitmore is hosting it. I thought we'd get Maya Jama or AG Odudu, and the fact that, she obviously went on to say that one of the reasons for why Laura got her job is because of, the fact that she's married to the narrator. And then I was like, nepotism, and that, she's back it again. And listen, I want to still say it, and I've always been saying it since Caroline unfortunately passed and Laura replaced her. I just don't think Laura Whitmore is a good fit for Love Island. I said in my interview that, she's a better fit for Countdown, for The Weakest Link, for afternoon game shows, or, MTV, which is what she used to do. I just see her on these platforms like docuseries, nature, geographical stuff. This is just where I see Laura Whitmore, in her prime. She obviously was upset, and she took to her Instagram to basically say, what did she say? Hold on, let me find her quotes. She said, I'm not going to give this too much energy because there's always stuff like this and you kind of just brush it off. But I think we need to be careful when we discuss women and their work. I've worked in telly for 14 years. I won a competition to be the face of MTV, and I've stayed working from job to job. Nobody's discussing whether you're a bad presenter. Nobody in the interview said you were a bad presenter. Who said you were a bad presenter? Because if you were a bad presenter, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. You can't present Love Island well. It doesn't suit you. It doesn't mean that you're a bad presenter. Hence why I said Countdown, Weakest Link, other shows that you can present. Otherwise, why would I suggest other shows if you are a bad presenter? No one said this. No one said Laura can't present. I've done incredible things all over the world with the best teams, but I've never gotten a job because of a guy I dated. And it's horrible when you see it's come from other women, because for so many years, women have talked about who they are going out with. They're only defined by who they are going out with, despite all the work and build up leading up to that, and they are their own individual person with their own experience. It's a shame because I think we're never really going to have full power and empowerment as a sex if we keep doing that. This is basically what she has said. She's obviously upset by the fact that people assume that. I'm like, come on, girl. Like, let's be real. Your husband being the big narrator of the show had no impact on you getting this job. Like zero impact on you. Not even a cute word in to say, or people already assume that you two are married. Like, from a pure connection, your husband probably didn't even have to help you get in. People just know you guys are married and thought, let's just, put you guys on the show because it just works and whatever. Like, there has to be some kind of, I find that hard to believe. But this is what white women do. And it's very frustrating. Not all white women do this. Not all. And I want to make that very clear. It's not every single person. Let's not generalize. But this is what white women do. Because why are you turning this conversation into your, accolades of being a presenter and shunning somebody who the sole interview was about her experience as a black woman on a show like Love Island and how she's been discriminated? But you're running around saying, we need to be empowered by women. There's not enough women empowerment. And the fact that she's alluding to that, I'm annoyed by it. And, I normally brush this off. And I worked for 15 years and when the sole interview was about solely her journey as a black woman on Love Island and how she was discriminated. And yet now you're speaking up about feminism and women empowerment. When if you really were about women empowerment, you should have also said, I also agree with the fact that her journey was absolutely messed because she was a black woman. But no, they don't matter. And this is what feminism is about. Feminism is a mirage. Feminism doesn't exist. Feminism is just white peak women feminism, where they want to just mask everything and make it all about themselves continuously. Because the whole interview, which I'm sure you would have known about because I'm sure you would have watched the interview to have this entire response. Who is phoning me? Sorry, I don't know your number. Sorry. You know when people phone you and it becomes the +44, I relax. But anyways, white women like to do this when it comes to feminism, It's all about women empowerment when it comes to you. But this black woman who was speaking about her journey on the show and how she was absolutely masked in such a disgusting way. And for a fact, if she wasn't black or brown or white, she would definitely have had a different journey, or likely to have a different journey on these dating shows. You want to speak about women empowerment, so why haven't you spoken about women of color on dating shows like Love Island who have continuously struggled? I don't understand. Who said you're a bad presenter? Nobody. But you've changed it into people talking about you as a bad presenter when nobody even said that. I just don't think, and I will say this to Laura's face, if I ever come into a room with her and she was to question me about the things that I've said behind her back on reality TV show reviews or on YouTube, I will say the same thing to her face like I've done with Love Island. Anything that I say, I will say it to your face. Like, I'm not afraid to say it because people are going to ask, because it's all public information anyways. But I would happily say to her face, listen, girl, you're a good looking girl. I think you're very successful. You have done great presenting shows, but I don't think you're a good fit for Love Island. You're not. You're helping to kill the show. And yeah, she's only there for 3-4 appearances, to be honest with you, which is not a lot. But I just don't think it's that great. I don't think that she's a good presenter for Love Island. And that is how I felt. That is how she felt. And we're entitled to say that. I just don't think she is. Like, I want somebody else on the show. Like, maybe Maya Jama or AJ. I think these are great things. It's such a shame that this has been turned into, woman empowerment. That part of this speech I didn't get. It's a shame because I think we're never really going to have full power and empowerment as a sex if we keep doing that. But what about a white woman who don't want to really relay about women of color on the show that you're hosting, that have gone through absolute tumultuous nonsense? What about women empowerment then? Doesn't matter then, does it? None of that matters. None of that's ever addressed in any capacity. So I don't think you have any right to talk about women empowerment. I'm sorry you don't, when you don't show any kind of understanding for black and brown girls on these shows who go through traumatic situations and, get dealt a very bad card. And I wanted to give Rachel that platform for her to speak her voice, and I'm glad that she has, because the interview has gone viral, picked up by Independent, picked up by Grazia, Daily Mail. It's gone everywhere, and rightly so, because I think that she was dealt a very bad hand on that card. And if she wanted to voice an opinion on the fact that she doesn't like you as a presenter, she doesn't think that you're a good presenter, from somebody who's even on the show that is saying this, girl, the call is coming from inside the house. And, she felt that, her husband definitely gave you a kick in. I just think that there is a likeliness. I think that nepotism is very much real. We've seen it with the Kardashians. Half of these girls wouldn't be where they are today if it wasn't for their name. And I think that sometimes that happens. The Hadid sisters are an example where, you just being related to somebody or your husband being somebody can help you in a way. And listen, if it helps you, it helps you. That's great for you. You signed a $500,000 deal and that's great. But sometimes nepotism works in a way that doesn't work. That means that you shouldn't really be there. Nepotism works and you're talented at what you do. Cool. No one's going to care because you're talented in that specific regard. I don't think Love Island suits her. Cara Delevingne is another example. The only reason she was everywhere at one point is because she knew people who were the main editors and holders of magazines. I'm not going to go into that, but she knew a lot of people, and that is why she was everywhere. It's really deep and it's ingrained. And I'm not going to hear a white woman talk about woman empowerment. I'm so sorry when, you've yet to talk about black and brown girls going through horrific stuff on the dating show that you host. So let's not play that card, please. Especially when the entire sole interview, the title of the interview was "As a Black Woman, I Was Disgraced on That Show." The entire interview was about her journey, about racism and what she felt as a black woman. But of course, that wouldn't matter to you. They like to mask things into something else completely and make it about them and woe is me, victimhood kind of. I'm not saying that she's saying she's a victim, but this is the kind of narrative it's being swayed into when, I don't know, man. Anyways, let me know your thoughts are when it comes to this video. Do you guys agree or disagree? Comment down below, guys. If you guys disagree, great to hear conversations. If you guys agree, great to hear conversations as well. Subscribe to the channel, click that button. Don't send any hate to Laura. It's pointless to do so, guys. And I will catch you guys soon for another video.